It's another Tuesday to discuss politics and governance in Nigeria. Welcome to Political Paradigm from Channels TV studios in Abuja. I am Terry Ikumi. We'll have two conversations today. One with one of the founding members of the People's Democratic Party who says he will not leave the party no matter the situation. And another with a chieftain of the Labour Party to discuss defections, coalitions, and the state of the party. So let's begin. I sat down with former governor of Jigawa State and Foreign Affairs Minister Sule Lamido. So let's pick up the conversation from why he has stayed rooted in the PDP. Why have you not left the PDP like other members have? I know you're a founding member of the party, but you know your state is APC controlled, and then there's internal crisis within the party that has lingered and caused a lot of people to leave. What's your excuse for not leaving?
Are you married? Are you married? Are you married?
I'm trying to understand how relevant it is, but...
Not yet. Eh? You're from a family, correct?
Yes.
In your upbringing, were there no cracks in your house between your daddy and your mom?
Quarrels?
Fine. Have they abandoned you? Have they left the house because of the crisis they're going through? To go to who? I mean, it's something called, your own home, your own legacy, upon which, you are also produced. And therefore, how do I now crowd out of my own skin? Crowd out of my own skin, coming to you, dripping in blood and flesh to confer, for you to confer your own skin on me. That's one. Number two, wherever I go, they say Lamido, former governor of what? PDP. Isn't it? Lamido, former minister of foreign affairs, PDP. So why should I take, the PDP ornamentation and go and decorate, my opponent? Does it make sense?
Well, sadly, many members don't see the PDP as home, and that's why they're leaving.
That's their problem.
But are you not afraid that the party could collapse?
Huh?
You would stay till it collapses, if it collapses.
You see, if the party collapses, the president and those APC have more to lose more than any other person because they are giving government. If the party collapses because collapse PDP, you collapse democracy in Nigeria and the whole thing will collapse, and therefore the big losers. The big losers are going to be Tinubu.
Who will be the loser?
The big loser, if the party collapses,
if the PDP collapses,
Nigeria will collapse. Put it down.
Explain that.
All right, because when there is no opposition, then you have an emperor.
But there are other political
Wait
parties.
now, listen now. When the party collapses, then you've got an emperor over Nigeria. And like all emperors, they are normally destroyed by their own greed. All emperors.
But look, the question is, there are other political parties that could serve as opposition. Are you worried that the PDP could collapse? Or you don't see that happening?
You see, don't narrow the way between PDP and Nigeria and the government. The PDP is Nigeria's history in the last 25 years. Therefore, look at the bigger picture and the implication of Nigeria. If the party collapses, it's the Nigerian history which is going to collapse. The same history which produced Tinubu and Buhari. Because when the PDP in 1999, which was able to restore Nigeria, get Nigeria reconciled and stabilized, there's no way Buhari or Tinubu can be president. There's no way. So, destroy PDP, destroy yourself. Simple. More than anybody, Tinubu needs PDP. More than anybody. To be chasing him, for him to be on his own toes. But if it collapses, nobody will be chasing him. He'll be chasing himself. He'll simply be chasing himself.
I recall that earlier this year, February to be precise, you said that the PDP is working on rebuilding itself and trying to make amends and get back on track since the 2015 presidential election. It's been 10 years now. What level of progress has the PDP made in that regard?
We're making steady progress, even though slowly. We're making it.
What do you say to those who say the PDP is retrogressing? What do you say to those who say you're not making progress, you're retrogressing?
Do they see APC as alternative? Ask them. Are they seeing APC as alternative? Is that their own view? So be it. Look, I have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
I know you may not want to disclose the outcome of the BOT meeting, which recently held, but I want to ask you a direct question. If you are satisfied with the process and the outcome of that meeting,
you are dealing with a human institution with so many inherent interests. And therefore it takes, the political sagacity of the operators, their dexterity, their wisdom and the management. And it's a very, very difficult process. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Do you think that the party has gone beyond the crisis that emanated from the National Convention which produced Atiku? Do you think that the party has gone beyond that problem? Because it would seem at the time that the concern was the national chairman issue. But it seems like it has escalated beyond the national chairman issue now. Is that the case with the party?
We have hope, a commitment, and a passion for Nigeria.
Is that the case with the party?
We have hope, a commitment, and a passion for Nigeria. And there are others who don't have the kind of thing, based on that thing on their own ephemeral interests. So there'll be difficulty, but we'll get there. We'll get there, don't worry.
I know that there's no love lost between you and the FCT minister, but I just want to know whether you are all on board with this reconciliation within the PDP.
See, I have got nothing against Wiki, nothing against him. I've been saying to him, he has the potential for growth. Wiki is a very young man, understand? And he needs to be properly mentored. Turn from to call Nigeria. And the case of Nigeria is tradition in the culture. So that he'll be able, by the time you get whatever we call that, he'll be able to look at the country at a yes. He will look at with that kind of understanding of those complex situation. For now, his comportment, his general utterances, those who are young men with also exuberance, but then with time he will mellow down. And after I've been there for a long time, he'll use the experience of being government, to be able to answer what you call Nigeria. Now he's not Nigeria better. He's not looking at Nigeria simply from the point of PDP. It's not about PDP. But beyond PDP, after PDP has been crushed, why is he going to go? Why is Nigeria? So the conversation should be beyond PDP. It should go a country called Nigeria. What happens if things are not being done properly? If things go wrong, what happens? That's all.
Do you think that if you take him out of the picture, that there will be no crisis in the party?
If I what?
Take Wiki out of the picture, there will be no crisis within the party.
I like Wiki, and respect to him. It's not Wiki talking. It's the office talking. If you look at this, how many future of us, former governors, who is talking? Look at people like Autumn, who are full of noise all over Nigeria. Is he talking now? When they are going to overseas to go for all the meeting of five and TV, you can have 5 in Europe and others. Can they go there now? Because they are then availing themselves to state resources and the office they are holding. What you're talking, now that out of office, put to out of office today. From the minister, he will just be like me, only Lamido. Just like me, only a person. So it is the office talking, not who's talking. It's the office talking.
You were National Secretary of the Social Democratic Party in the Third Republic. And now that conversation is coming up again. We hear that now El-Rufai didn't mention your name, but he said some of you in your position should join.
SDP was a creation of Babangida. Like NRC. There was no underpinning philosophy why the party were invented, but only for a purpose of the then President Babangida to attain a political interest. Simple.
Is that what the party still stands for now?
I mean, what I'm saying, who now the grand party? What is the grand party of the party? Who that was now? Before it was the government of Babangida.
So that's the reason why you cannot join the SDP?
What I'm saying is, you see, I joined SDP because we are denied the party what is registered. And the government said, look, we are putting SDP and I said, go and join. Now I've got a choice. And I'm not my own choice. The very choice which produced El-Rufai as a minister, the very choice which produced me as a governor, the very choice which produced Obasanjo as a Nigerian president, actually, and the very choice which has made so many people what they are today. That's what.
But I suggested that there was some bad blood. I could be wrong, as I say, but let me read out between you and El-Rufai. Let me read out what you said. You said that RFI is not enough to make me leave the PDP. You also said he once said that there are no adults in Nigerian politics, but now he is calling us to join the SDP. And those statements seem strong.
Compare them. You said that time, they are the elders in the north, and they can dictate the way north goes. And they did so, they said, "Not to go into APC," isn't it? So the elder who said, "No, he has pushed north into APC." Why is he now abandoning APC and the north? To him, the north should be APC. Why is he abandoning it? In any case, if in 2014, in 2014, as a governor, I never left APC. What RFI was just nothing. Why should I leave PDP? After, it doesn't make sense to me. In 2014, when the entire national mood in the north, in the country, was for APC, for change, PDP, verifying PDP, as all kind of names. If I refuse to succumb under kind of pressure and blackmail, why should I now go to APC or to any other political party? Why should I abandon PDP? To go to where? Like, I can't simply crowd out of my own skin, coming to you in blood and flesh, for you to confer your own skin on me.
Well, maybe your movement could help fulfill your presidential ambition. You still want to be president?
Let me say, in Yoruba and Hausa, they have this, culture of dress. The bigger gown on top and smaller one underneath it. And when you say, you look well dressed. Now, can you imagine putting the smaller gown on top of the bigger gown?
Explain that. Explain that in layman terms.
What I'm saying, if you, okay, fine, you have got a shirt now.
Explain that in layman terms.
If you, okay, fine, you have got a shirt now, isn't it? Can you put the shirt over your coat? Can you do it?
What does that mean in the context of what we're discussing?
Because, it is smaller, the bigger thing should be on top of the smaller one.
You're the bigger thing.
I am bigger than the FDP. Because nobody in Nigeria who was there when I was the secretary of the party in 1992.
But how are you going to be able to achieve to fulfill your presidential ambition unless you don't want to be president?
Hold ambition. Look, you see, don't begin to talk, ephemerally. You have been too ephemeral. Be altruistic.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this country called Nigeria must be led by some principles. There should be the country first before you talk about ambition. Don't put your ambition ahead of the country. Don't engage your luck in a race. If you overtake your luck in a race, it will be behind you.
So let me make the question more direct. Do you believe that you will fulfill your presidential ambition, if you still have it, in the PDP?
When you're talking about ambition, you see, I ran in 2019. Isn't it? And I didn't get it. I am not running for. You see, the issue is that there are people who run for themselves. There are people who run for a particular national interest. My ambition is purely altruistic.
Okay.
All right? And when you say my ambition, no, it's not sacrosanct. It's about Nigeria. Why is the country called Nigeria? Why is the party called PDP? So it is let us work united first. Let us put our ambition behind the party, behind the country. Let the party lead in the country. And then by the time the country is stabilized and the party is normalized, then you can work for your own ambition. But for now, when you say you are leading the ambition, the party probably can't work.
I think for many, it's really commendable that you have values that have kept you within your party. But as we round off this interview, let me ask you this question with regard to power rotation. I know that some parties have that embedded in their constitutions.
About power station?
Rotation of power.
Okay.
The National Assembly there's a bill which would likely be reconsidered. It had just failed to rotate power across the 6 geopolitical zones.
Now listen, let me save you. Nigeria became independent in 1960. Which means today, how many years old in independence? 65? Now, we'll not be able, up till now, to begin to think about the country called Nigeria. We're talking about, arrangement for power rotation. Is it all about power? Why is the country called Nigeria? So does power rotation give you power, give you electricity, give you water, give you health? Why are we all, maybe caressing, the ego of the interest, rather, look at the country. What are we doing to make sure that, this country is becoming, very, very stable? Because, a functioning country with functioning institutions. This country becomes more stable and then a leader of the black race. That should be more paramount. But then if you think, routine power will not give you anything, but apart, maybe either pacifying your emotions or your sentiments or caressing your ego. That's what I'm saying. They are ingrained in the first place to make sure they know that we're able, after some years, to build and forge a strong country called Nigeria, where you can be anywhere you want, and that I can trust you. That, when you come for the president, I say, who are you? Are you a Muslim or Christian? I will look at you on your own personal capacity and merit. I say, yes, I trust you. Lead me.
But are we there yet? That is where we should be. But are we there yet?
I mean, then after 60 years of independence, was it trying to go through the trial and error? Are we really serious?
Those who support this bill say that if we don't introduce power rotation, that the North will continue to dominate Nigerian politics. How do you respond to that?
Look, there are people who want to use sentiment to be able to attain an interest. And therefore they can bundle any kind of lies or blackmail. In my political life, in history, all through, I've been there for just not for the North, but for Nigeria first, because North part of Nigeria, if you got a very secure, stable Nigeria, then it means North is safe. If you got a very, very unstable Nigeria, which is not safe, North is not safe. So what do we do to put in place something which will give the Nigerians the kind of canopy for all Nigerians to be under and feel safe and secure and equal? That's all.
So, Your Excellency, you had talked about Sheikh Tinubu and how you condemned his sharing of rice. I don't think at the time you knew it was sharing of rice in the North. His excuse is that it was a Ramadan gesture, breaking fast with the people of the North. Do you still condemn that?
Look, you look at a person and then look at his character and what he stands for. Was he there traceable? If he's so benevolent, was he there traceable? Since when have you been going to the North to go and give us rice before we're angry? Since when? No, tell me.
Maybe by virtue of his position.
No, because he's cashing on the pain and the odium induced by his own father. And therefore, the people have been conditioned by the poverty and suffering caused by his own father, and therefore he cashed into it and said, okay, fine, take food. Simple. Well, was it last year? Or 2 years ago? Or Islam came to only 3 years ago? Or fasting? His father is a Muslim. Was he ever there in the North? In the last 20 years? Tinubu himself is a Muslim. When was he ever there in the North? Give us rice. How is his own son now? What's all this? You see, look, you do not, knowingly, deliberately, destroy human essence. You don't do that simply because you want to take political interest. Because when you destroy human decency and human dignity and human self-worth, you are destroying your own image, because we are also a reflection. So his duty is build people through their own resources based on the trust given to you as a leader. But then don't turn that trust into your own tool and political weapon to make sure you create a condition where people become subdued and subordinated, and therefore feel compelled to do their own bidding because of pain or hunger or problem.
Your Excellency, Sule Lamido, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on Political Paradigm. And I wish we could, talk a little more, because I really want to know what your political journey has been so far and what you intend to do, but there's no time. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. See you another time, no problem. I'm always here for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.